Back at White Hart Lane, selected fans were invited to the Bill Nicholson suite for a very enjoyable question and answer session with Martin Jol and goalkeeper Paul Robinson.
I read an interview a few weeks ago. You said on a copy of an interview you gave in a Dutch magazine where you'd stated your ambition to be Spurs manager quite a few years ago. Can I ask, what was it about the club that attracted you at that time? Considering you played in England, you never played for us, you never played against us. What was it about the club that made you want to be our manager so long ago?
Normally, and I said it before with Edgar, for example, everybody tells you, even Paul Robinson tells you that Tottenham Hotspur is his favourite club when he comes to the club. And everybody knows he's lying, but and then it's still embarrassing to say, no, when I was 10 years of age, I liked Spurs because of their dress, because of the players they had, because of their style of play. And I think it was then, in the 60s, probably the best club in Britain. So that was easy. And in 1999, I said in an interview, if I would go to the Premiership, I would like to go to Spurs. So everybody can check that as well. So it was not a joke. So it was in my mind all the time. The only problem was that Frank asked me first to be the head coach, and then he said, yeah, well, we need a big name, so then they get another fellow in, and it was okay with me. Because I knew I only had to wait to January.
My question is just generally related to the first team. Who is it that makes the decision to attack Paxton Road second half, or is it just because you like standing in front of the Park Lane in the second half?
Yeah, if I'm captain, I like to go there second half, but there's more pressure on me because I have to have a clean sheet or else they don't sing my name as loud. I think it's just the way that the club's played for a long time. There's no particular reason for it. I mean, if we're winning and doing well, I think the only team that's beaten us here for a while is Chelsea. And we seem to be winning and doing all right. We don't change it, try and change what's working.
One thing that has been discussed quite a lot, there's a theory that whilst you were commended, and quite rightly, for the way you handled the Old Trafford incident, and the other night at Bolton we were cheated really because Jermaine scored a legal goal. There is a theory that whilst it's wonderful to be very decent about accepting these decisions, that if you get a little nastier, a la Ferguson for example, then sometimes officials start leaning a little bit more our way. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, there's two things, what you can do on television, you keep your dignity, and what you do in reality. And I went to him and I said to him, can you say in England that you're a And then he said, no, of course not, you can't say that. I said, can I think that you're a And he said, you can think whatever you like. And I said, I think that you're a